Authorities, Trace.
Yeah, Kevin Cork live for us in D.C. on that. Kevin, thank you. Let's bring in Energy and Environmental Legal Institute senior legal fellow, Steve Milloy, who also served on former President Trump's EPA transition team. Steve, it's always great to have you. The Democrats keep saying that consumer demand for these electric vehicles, right, is rising. I want to put this up on the screen. This is from the AP Norc poll. It says, quoting here, that very or extremely likely to buy an electric vehicle, 19%. Somewhat likely, 22%. Not likely, 47%. They can't even get 50% on board. And now it's being mandated, Steve. Your thoughts?
Yeah, look, 93% of new cars sold are gas-powered cars. Electric cars are so popular, the government has to mandate them and subsidize them. Look, this whole rule is a failure. You know, there's still litigation going on from the Trump fuel economy rules and last year's Biden fuel economy rules. So now they're going to throw this in. The whole thing is a mess. It's not going to pass muster under West Virginia versus EPA, which was the big Supreme Court decision from last June. There's no way this is going to affect climate. Even if it was implemented, it's just going to make cars more expensive. It's going to make people, less able to afford cars. It's just a disaster.
Yeah, but the whole thing is you just ask the EPA, you raise the emission standards, and then the car companies have to start kind of building these things, and people have to start buying them. So it becomes this whole cycle.
Well, look, when the Trump EPA redid the fuel economy standards, the average age of an American car was 12 years. I mean, this is going to push that out even further. So people would be driving older cars for longer. I mean, they're really going to turn us into Cuba.
Yeah, they really are going to turn into Cuba. I want to know, where do we get the minerals, Steve, for the batteries? Right now, most of these things are mined from China. Nobody has given me a good answer on where these minerals are going to come for. We're not exactly, bosom buddies with China right now.
Well, so this is the thing. There's no plan for this. 80% of rare earths that go into, EV batteries as well as wind and solar all come from China. A lot of the cobalt that goes into these batteries comes from child slave labor in the Congo, which is operated by the Chinese. There are no plans in any of these rules or any of the legislation that Congress passed last year to ensure that we have the needed supplies for, this green fantasy of theirs.
Yeah, and while we're on it, what about the power? I mean, where does a state like California get the power to push 20 million electric vehicles? And other states, I mean, the electric grids are falling apart in these states. Steve, your final thoughts?
Well, yeah, so we are destroying our grids while burdening them at the same time. It's not just the EV burdens. They want to get rid of gas stoves and have electric stoves. They want to get rid of gas furnaces and have heat pumps. All this is burdening the grid while we're destroying it. It's just, we're headed for disaster.
Yeah, it's good insight. Steve Milloy, thank you for coming on. We appreciate your time, sir.
All right, Trace, thank you.
Well, meantime,